So here's an IB question, top to bottom, everything's there. They're very, very common. I would almost guarantee you're going to see something like this, or maybe way more in depth than this, and you'll see a few different kinds of questions as you go down through. You're basically always going to have to find the correlation coefficient, the regression equation, and then you'll have to use the regression equation to do something, and possibly a tiny bit more. But that's basic idea. So it's going to tell you about it. So we got a beach, the daily temperature recorded, and it shows how many visitors the beach got. So they're comparing the temperature to how many visitors it got. They want us to find the correlation coefficient and the regression equation. So I'm going to take my calculator, just like before. I'm going to hit stat and edit. So stat, edit. I'll clear the lists out that I have in there. So clear, edit. Whoops. All right, so let me try this again. Stat, edit, clear, edit. Okay, so now be careful because the x's go across the top. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, and I hit 30 on a lot of those. So obviously the most important thing, especially if you're at all like me, is that you enter the stuff in correctly. Because if you don't, you cannot get the right answer, and you'll never know. Because it's not like you have any idea what any of this stuff should look like when you type it in. So I'm not an incredibly careful person, but I do notice things a lot of times when I'm glancing back over it, as I did there. 7, 29. Okay, so there's all my data entered in there. So I'm just going to find the regression equation and the correlation coefficient. So I go to stat, I go to calc, and I go to linear regression, number 4. No frequency list like we've talked about before. All right, so it gives me my A, my B, and my my correlation coefficient, which is very, very close to 1. All right, so now I'm going to go back here, and I'll write these things down. So correlation coefficient, R equals, right here, 0.99965. Now, if I run that to 3 significant digits, I'm literally going to get 1. So I'm going to write this whole thing down. I don't usually do this, but I don't want it to say 1, just because of my personal preference. 659767. 9767. Now, 3 significant digits would be 1, 2, 3. This digit would bump that up. So to 3 significant figures, you would actually get 1.00 if you wrote that down. I wouldn't do that. All right, I would use the whole correlation coefficient right there. Linear regression equation, y equals, and then so that y equals 40.3. All right, 3 significant figures. 40.3x minus 403. Again, 3 significant figures. So minus 403. Okay, so there's my regression equation. And then it says, use the equation of the regression line to estimate the number of visitors during a day where the temperature is 26 degrees. All right, so 26 degrees. So y equals, degrees is the x value, 40.3 times 26 minus 403. Okay, so just type that to calculator there. So 40.3 times 26 minus 403 is 664.8. 644.8. Okay, and again, I should go 3 significant figures, so 645. Now, I'm a little hesitant there to round to 645 because we didn't make it to 645. If you've ever seen anything like this in, an exam before, that would mean 644. All right, but I would put this little thing down because 645 is too high. All right, we don't round up or whatever, so I would accept either of those answers. And I'm sure the IB would too if you explained why you were picking the 644 for something like that. Okay, so that's what it looks like. They all work very similar. It didn't say, is this valid or not? Some of the other ones will. It is valid because it falls in the 20 to 28 range. Anything outside of that 20 to 28 we wouldn't. I said range. I should say domain. It falls into the 20 to 28 domain, because that's where our data is living. All right. If we had 15 degrees, we really wouldn't know. And again, maybe the beach is closed at 15 degrees. All right. So that's part of the thing that we have to consider when we're doing this.